You definitely don't want to be on the receiving end of these. Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we'll be looking at the 9 most brutal, visceral weapons in video games that turn your enemies into pulpy mush. Rip and tear until it is done. Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Lancer, Gears of War franchise. The chainsaw is a tried and tested video game weapon that will rip through anything that comes near it. Attaching one to the end of an assault rifle was pure genius and was one of the aspects that helped Gears of War stand out. The series is constantly bombarding players with swarms of nasty enemies. Getting close to perform a simple melee attack wouldn't be worth it. However, the carnage that comes from digging the Lancer into an enemy satisfies every time. With each game came new and fantastic execution animations, and it's by far the franchise's most iconic weapon. The Blades of Chaos, God of War franchise. The Blades of Chaos are unique, as their history is fittingly dark to match their brutality. Forged in Hades by Ares, they were given to Kratos after he declared himself a servant of the God of War. Unfortunately, Ares would use trickery to force Kratos to use them on his own family. Their chains are seared into Kratos' arms, but they give him great range against his opponents. The jagged edges of the blades make any entry or exit wound a complete mess, while the bursts of flame they emit with each connection makes them even deadlier. One must only look at the countless executions of Kratos shredding the flesh off his opponents to know how savage they are.
Right side, brother!
The Super Shotgun, Doom franchise. It may not be the flashiest weapon in the Doomslayer's arsenal, but it's one of the most reliable when it comes to instantly decimating demons. The shotgun in the original Doom packed a hefty punch, though it's nothing compared to this. First appearing in Doom 2, the Super Shotgun fires both shells at once, making for a wide spray of damage. But, as Doom is one of gaming's most violent series, it also blows body parts and chunks of flesh off any demon unlucky enough to be found in front of it. It's incredibly useful if you ever find yourself cornered. Just bring out the Super Shotgun and start blasting. Drill Bucket, Dead Rising 2. The appeal of the Dead Rising series is turning completely random items into zombie-slaying machines. And while plenty of them are used to turn hordes of the undead into minced meat, the franchise reached peak ridiculousness with the Drill Bucket in Dead Rising 2. Combining power drills with an ordinary bucket leads to this modern version of a medieval torture device. Once you place it on a zombie's head, it will get straight to work making that zombie wish it had died as a human. It's not the most useful when it comes to big groups of enemies, but its sheer brutality and hilarity cannot be denied. Upgraded Gravity Gun, Half-Life 2. The gravity gun from Half-Life 2 is already incredibly useful, able to pull items towards you and fling them at opponents with deadly ferocity. Ammunition like metal barrels, saw blades, and propane tanks make the gravity gun one of the deadliest in the game. However, once it's charged with dark energy, it becomes even more dangerous to your enemies. It vaporizes foes and their weapons instantly. Additionally, it allows Gordon to pull enemies toward him, which also kills them instantly. It doesn't get supercharged until late in the game, but with a weapon as powerful as this, it's no wonder why. Auto Axe, Fallout 3. As Fallout is set in a post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland, there's all manner of destructive weapons that one can collect. But none are quite as visceral as the up-close and personal auto axe from Fallout 3. It can only be found in the game's DLC The Pit, and it's more than a worthy addition. The weapon's circular saw consists of 4 individual blades, which causes the blood of your enemies to spray wildly. It's also got a higher durability than the game's standard chainsaw weapon, the Ripper, and has more powerful variants for when you truly want to rip your enemies to shreds. The High Frequency Blade, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Yes! Swinging wide open!
The sword is one of gaming's most common weapons, and, in certain titles, can also be one of the most brutal. Enter the High Frequency Blade from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. It's much more powerful than a regular sword thanks to the alternating electrical current running through it.
Get off!
This current makes the sword able to cut through basically anything, so it's exceptionally dangerous in anyone's hands. But when that someone is a cyborg ninja, it's best if foes go ahead and say their final prayers. Though the blade had been seen in previous games, Revengeance shows how disastrous it can be in Raiden's hands. His blade mode allows for incredibly precise slices, dismembering enemies wherever players choose to cut. And his intense Ripper mode immediately turns every person into mush. The Plasma Cutter, Dead Space franchise. You might not expect a simple mining tool to be useful against the mutated undead, but that was just one way in which Dead Space surprised us. The Plasma Cutter, which was originally designed to cut minerals, becomes Isaac's go-to tool for dismembering necromorphs. It fires bursts of plasma vertically or horizontally, giving players variety into which bits they want to blast off their enemies. It brings the simple joy of mutilating monsters that a sword or chainsaw offers while eliminating the need to get in too close. Not only that, but it's also upgradable with more powerful versions found throughout the series. The Cerebral Bore, Turok franchise. Weapons with ammunition that hone in on your enemies are always welcome inclusions to any FPS, and the Turok series features one of the best ones. The Cerebral Bore fires a drill that zeroes in on an enemy's head and proceeds to enter the brain in a not-so-discreet manner. Needless to say, this isn't a quick or merciful end. And to add insult to injury, the drill even explodes. Its impressive viciousness has made it one of the genre's most iconic weapons. And while it didn't appear in every game in the series, it definitely improved the games in which it did.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.